Hello, 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 hello. Welcome for another episode of Market Leader Live. Hey, it's your host with the most, your main man, Darren M. Palmer. Excited to be with you for an episode where you're able to hear from the people who do it, who get it done, who don't make excuses but get results. When we look at getting results, we got Mr. Results on here today. My man, Mr. William, get results. Winfield is in the building, man, raining out of the Northeast. You know what I'm saying, representing the right way. If you don't mind, say hello to the people, Mr. Winfield.
What's going on, people?
Man, for those who don't know, we had back in the day, man, the man blew up the pole little that we were just getting started. Now, we had been there for a little bit, but on I believe it was the Self-Published 30 Days podcast or whatnot. He came in, blew it. I was like, man, my man was just hitting us with so many nuggets. Still one of my favorite episodes right now. So even though I know you all who are listening right now live might catch this, whatnot on some of my social media platforms, and some at another time who listening might catch it on one of the podcasts, go back. I'll put it in the show notes where you can go back and hear Mr. Winfield's episode of the Self-Published 30 Days podcast where he killed it. But I really want to talk a little bit more because what's fascinating to me, I know it can be done, but you yourself, you've done it, far as being able to transition, not being limited. And what I mean by that, let me preface this, because I have watched Mr. Winfield take it from, yes, of course, for one, he's a husband, he's a child guy, he's a husband, the whole nine, he's a great, wonderful father, the whole nine, mentor, so many other titles. But what this is about is market leader and how to be a market leader. And to me, he's done it at a top level. And what I mean by that is he was able to take what he has, and he was able to move forward with that and create multiple streams of impact, which leads to income with it as well. And so what I mean by that, I've watched him become from speaker, watch him write books, watch him do coaching, consulting to another level, seen him be able to put on his own events. I watched him partner with others as well. I watched him have his spirituality to be able to pour that in a business capacity, to pour into people with prayer calls. I have still watched him invest in himself, for as while he's been transparent about him learning and being a part of groups and investing in himself to grow, to even certification programs, the whole nine. He's basically the poster child of what we talk about on these episodes as far as what you need to be doing. And he has created demand for what he does in the marketplace. So if you don't mind, I know I open it up wide open, and I'm going to let you run with this your way. But if you don't mind, let's just go back and take us through your psyche and your mindset. Why didn't you, or what made you make that leap from just laying back and saying, you know what, all I'm going to do is just speak, or all I'm going to do is just be an author? What made you make that pivot in your mind and make that shift and go into other arenas?
Yeah, man. Like you said, man, it's just really understanding who I am first. I know who I am. I know that, God has been able to bless me to help people in different capacities, but still stay in that element of gifting of being an effective communicator. And so, bro, my mindset was just like, Will, like, there's more, and you don't want to die on full. You want to die on E. And that was my perspective, D. I'm like, yo, I want to make sure that when I leave this earth, that I'm able to come in contact with most people. Mother Teresa said it the best, man. She said, never let nobody leave your presence without leaving happier. And that's what I tend to do every single day I wake up. So for me, man, the average person's like, I'm going to start tomorrow. My mindset, I need to get it today. I don't know if I got tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So really, man, the mindset shift just came from stop being average and be your best self. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't worry about people's opinions. Don't worry about what people are going to think about you. You do what you do at the level that you do it, and know that the more you give yourself, the more the world will give to you. And most importantly, the creator of the world will give to you. So that's what I would say to that.
Wow, wow. And I want to go back to that moment, that epiphany, that aha moment,
Yeah.
where you are sharing for those who are listening. It has to be more.
Mm.
Now, I don't want us just to just graze over that real quick, because it's others out there who know it's more.
Right.
There's others out there who know that there are other opportunities. There's others out there who know that they're not promised tomorrow, but it's something that's keeping them in the quagmire of just staying still and not moving, kind of like a deer in headlights, so to speak, with that analogy, and not moving forward. But I love, and I want to bring this up, because I think what Mr. Winfield shared is the difference is a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
See, it's not I might or one day. I got to do it now.
Yeah.
And I think that's what some are missing in this world. And if you're not careful, the reason I'm bringing this up, because if you're not operating at the level of your purpose or your passion like you should be, or if you're not moving forward, and don't get me wrong, it will be a sense of uncertainty, even if it's your passion, even if it's your purpose. It's going to be challenges no matter what you do. So we don't want to make it like, oh man, it's just sprinkles and Kool-Aid for you the whole time. Ain't nothing going to ever go against you. But I want us to focus on that. And let's speak to that, if you don't mind, Mr. Winfield, because you didn't do this just one time. See, you have used that transferable skill of a sense of urgency is more in you to go into different areas. Because you could have said, okay, well, yeah, okay, I'm working on speaking. Okay, well, I did the book. But for you to do certification programs, for you to do consulting, for you to do these programs you're doing, for you to do your own live events, okay, that's another level of using that same skill. So if you don't mind, give us a few takeaways of what somebody who's listening to this, who might not be wired like you or me, what they can do to start moving towards that abundance that they know that they have inside them.
Yep. So the first thing I would say is be honest with yourself. Like, that's the first thing I'm gonna say. Like, be honest with yourself. Ask yourself, like, bro, like, am I really making the money that I want to make? And I hate to say it, man, like, shout out to all my Christian people out there, but sometimes I think that a lot of us feel that we make money, we're a bad Christian. And there's no commandment that God ever said be broke. He said be fruitful and multiply, right? So it's hard to be fruitful and multiply when you procrastinate. It's hard to be fruitful and multiply when you're worrying about other people's opinions. It's hard to be fruitful and multiply when you're worrying about dealing with the inner me, not the enemy, the inner me, right? So your mindset, number one, you got to be honest. Say to yourself, okay, do I have the things that I really want to like? Like, can I fly first class if I choose to? Can I go on a lot and purchase a car, right? Can I actually put my kids in college? Can I actually buy property? Can there's other things that I can do to have personal freedom? Point number two, personal freedom. Like, what is it that you really want? And don't have no limits on it. We live in a world where people put these limitations and these caps up here. And I'm like, yo, for real, limitations don't exist in William Winfield's world. That's why you see me doing the speaking, this and that. But here's the thing. You look like it seems like I'm drained, but really I'm not drained because I'm doing what I love to do. And for some of y'all, the reason why you drain and you get burnt out easy is because you're doing what you're not supposed to be doing. Right? Like you doing, like, for instance, right? You know you're supposed to be speaking, but you shipping box at Amazon and you getting frustrated, right? You getting like, yo, I know there's, of course there's more than scanning a box and shipping, and no pun intended to anybody who works the 9 to 5. But what I'm telling you is that if there's more, go get more. Don't sit there, go get the more. And then the third component that I would say to them, bro, is that takes full responsibility. I had to take full responsibility and say to me, like, yo, at the end of the day, because like I tell y'all, man, like, my wife took a shot on me. My wife has a master's degree in criminal justice. I don't have no degree, but the degree of wisdom. I think I said that the last time I was on here, right? But my wife took a shot on me. And I would be a fool not to give it my all for her. First God, but definitely make sure I give it my all to her. So I have to be able to take self-inventory and say, Will, you have the opportunity to have these different areas of coaching, speaking, consulting, right? Being a businessman, like you have these different components, but these different components are going to bring you different type of wealth if you stick to it. And for some of y'all, you have the syndrome of stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. And that's why nothing ever happens in your life. You got to get out that syndrome. You think COVID's bad. No, stop, go. 19 is bad. You feel me? Stop, go. 19 is bad. You think COVID? No, COVID has probably been the greatest thing for true entrepreneurs. The greatest thing. But for you, you look at COVID as COVID. Entrepreneurs look at COVID as creativity that's going to generate generational wealth. It's a different mindset. So you have to be, self-inventory. You got to say, yo, am I really where I want to be? And if you're not, you the problem. If you don't have the life that you want right now, you are the problem. It's not your mom, it's not your dad, it's not your ex. You the problem.
Now you're being too tough, Will. You're being too tough. You're being rough on people on here on this show. Now, I don't know if everybody gonna be able to take that full accountability, full responsibility for themselves. But like you brought up, at the end of the day, as the great Michael Jackson once said, you got to look at the man or the woman in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? That's the common denominator in every relationship. It's common denominator with the spouse, with the kids, the significant other, the employer, the whole nine. We have to look. I'm going to share this, and this is just me being fully transparent. I was sharing this the other day. Everything changed when I changed.
There it is.
Let me say that one more time for the people in the back. Everything changed when I changed. So that's the testament to what Will is sharing with us. William Winfield is sharing with us today is that understanding right there. My marriage changed when I changed. The problem wasn't my wife. The problem wasn't the kids. The problem wasn't the team members. The problem wasn't the church. The problem wasn't the community. The problem was me. You know what I'm saying? But when I finally realized that I need to work on me, then all of a sudden I noticed the ripple effect in other areas in my life. Now the relationship between me and my wife was better. With the kids was better. It was peace in the household. The team was the right team. Some people that didn't align, hey, they had to depart. But when I aligned the right way, it allowed for everything to go. And what you have to do is do a self-assessment. You got to self-assess with yourself. And that's what William is sharing. This is where you got to put your big boy shoes on and your big girl shoes on and pants on and go and understand that you got to be real with yourself. You won't be who you need to be, as Mr. Winfield is sharing with us, if you can't self-assess. So for those who listening to this today, I want you to take a moment. I want you to take time today to take what Mr. Winfield has shared with us and find a way to not just hear this, not just, ooh, I got goosebumps. Ooh, I'm excited. Ooh, I feel my hair stand up on the back of my neck. No. Use that goosebumps, use that hair stand up on the back of your neck to use that as energy to transition your life so you can live your best life. That's the thing that I want us to get out of here with Mr. Winfield sharing, because he gave us tangible steps on how to utilize this. But what we got to do is just keep in our mind what will be the next move for us to do this, and how to be able to maneuver and move forward with that the whole time. So, Will's sharing this too. I just want to go a little bit deeper in this, and I'm going to have Will come on and share in just a second on this piece. We watch Will. I want y'all to go to his social media page. We're going to have the show notes, the information that he's doing. What I love about him is because he's a builder. He's a builder. And what I mean by that is the stop and go ministry. What he's sharing with you, 1 minute you're doing Forex. The next minute you got NutriBurst or whatnot. You telling me how to be in shape and how to burn fat. The next minute you telling me how to burn belly fat. The next minute you selling motor oil. The next minute you selling quick weaves. You did, what I'm saying? So, whatever, every time I see you own the next bandwagon to do something. And so it's hard to create a brand. It's hard to create something that people can trust because you got a bunch of just hustles. And people can look at that and see like, wait a minute, didn't you just tell me something about how to do stock trades? Now, next minute I look at you, you telling me how to be shaped by It Works. You know, I'm confused, and I'm not knocking in those industries because I know some people who won in those different industries. But guess what? They're 10 toes down in that industry, though. They're 10 toes down. So they doing Forex, they doing Forex. That's you all day. They doing meetings, they doing Zoom calls, they on the road. If they doing it works, if they talking about the CBDT or whatnot, that's what they do. Like that's what they do. You seeing them 24/7 events, the whole nine around it. So a lot of you all, like Mr. Winfield shared, are missing out because we don't know what we getting with you. People do business with people who they know, like, and trust. But if they, how can I trust you when every week I see you is something new? Can you speak to people? Because we're talking about market leader right here. This is market leader stuff right here. So this ain't for somebody who just looking for a quick buck. So Mr. Winfield, talk to the people about the importance of, you know, finding a lane. You have created symbiotic flow with what you're doing. It all feeds off one another. Okay. But let's go into that mindset of not just being all over the place.
Yeah, got you. So the first thing that I would tell you is don't be an octopus, be a shark, right? They say, according to National Geographic, that sharks can sense blood from 2.5 miles away. Some of y'all are not even close enough to smell the blood. So you don't know what to do. So now you like, I'm going to become an octopus. I'm just going to go where the wind takes me. And because you're going where the wind takes you, you everywhere. And well, guess what happens when you everywhere? Nobody knows what you do. Like my man was saying, like you doing weave, you changing oil, you changing tires, you changing diapers, you doing everything. And nobody can find you for that one thing. Remember, everybody who is successful and where they want to be is because they master the one thing. And to be honest with you, I think a lot of people don't master the one thing because they're watching too many people do everything. That's the problem. You're watching people do everything and you don't know who you really are. Your problem too is that you watch too much social media influencers and not see yourself as an influencer. You're like, I'm going to go do what ET's doing. I'm going to do what Les Brown's doing. I'm going to do what Sarah Jenks is doing. And guess what? One thing I learned about the story of David and Saul is that you cannot slay Goliath rocking somebody else's anointing. Just can't. You can't do that. So I would say to you, the first thing that you have to do to master your lane is really identify what comes supernatural to you. And you know it comes supernatural to you because a lot of people tell you it. If 5 people come up to you and tell you, girl, them pies are smacking, 9 times out of 10, the individual goes like this. Nah. Never forget, the thing you go, not to, is the thing that's going to blow you up to get you to where you want to be. So that's first thing. Number 2, give yourself enough time. I think we live in a microwavable society to where you popping stuff in the oven, you popping stuff in the microwave. You know, the old school TV dinners with the mashed potatoes, right? As soon as you pull it out the microwave, the food's hot, right? The meatloaf's hot, the corn's hot, and then when you think the mashed potatoes is hot, you bite, it's frozen. You lukewarm. You ain't hot. You ain't hot. You lukewarm. So you have to understand as an individual that what you trying to give to people is lukewarm because you're not operating at your level. You need to operate at what you do. Don't do what everybody else is doing because guess what? You're going to start being with people who say the market's saturated. What? The market's not saturated. Your creativity sucks. my man, listen, my man D, he ain't the only one who's doing books, but guess what? He killing the game because he's found a lane. There's many people who out here speaking. There's many people who got certification program, but guess what? I stay in my lane. Now we sniper mode. We sniper laser lock focus. And when you become laser lock focus, it changes the game for you. So give yourself enough time to be able to develop yourself. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to happen over time and grind and consistency. The reason why most people don't get to the next level, D, is because they lack this word consistency. And the Lord told me a while back, get back to the fundamentals. Some people are just lazy. You just straight out lazy. You just want to make money the fast way. No pun intended. That's cool. But after you make the $1 million, are you still going to be happy? Because we know that money doesn't bring you happiness unless you're operating in the level that you need to operate in. I'm a communicator. I stick to that pocket. You ain't going to see me out here trying to sell weave. lace front, sew-ins. I'm not doing it. You're not gonna see me try to sell all this. I stay in my pocket. And when you stay in your pocket, guess what? I'm sorry, I'm a sports fanatic, but you know, when you stay in your pocket, you become like Tom Brady. You in there. Tom Brady know better to run than to run the ball. He a pocket passer. Stay in the pocket. Give yourself enough time, because when you get out the pocket, you start fumbling the ball and you start blaming everybody else but yourself. You got to take full inventory of why you're not where you want to be. So that's what I would say to the individuals right now.
Wow, man, nuggets. It's a nugget fest, y'all. Y'all didn't know y'all hit Nugget Fest 2020, did you? You didn't know my man was out here shooting, man. Man, I heard shooting like Luca out there, man, shooting lights out on board. Hey, but this is something that you got to make sure that you glean from this too as well, that Mr. Winfield shared with us. I think it's important when he talk about the sniper mode or whatnot, making sure, some of you all are thinking to yourself, well, I got all kind of talents. Yes, you do. We believe you. Yes, we understand you got a lot of talents, but you got to realize your audience can only handle so much. Your audience can only handle so much. So if they don't know who you are, then you will miss out on opportunities. I thought the same way. I thought, well, I do this, and this. No, I narrowed it down. By narrowing it down, a niche, however you want to pronounce it, what I noticed and found was other opportunities. I got an event going on where I'll be doing another virtual event. Now, this is where I start at, and I still do this, but I don't even promote this. I still have people who reach out to me for speaking engagements. I haven't reached out to any college or whatnot that did any promo or sent a flyer. Now, when I first started, I did back in the day. I hadn't did that in years. But now, because of the success of the business, notice what I said, the business of the lane that I am, it has opened up doors for me with symbiotic flows. That's what we're talking about here. Symbiotic flows that it aligns with me. So my main message to my core audience is still the same. But there are other lanes, just like what Mr. Winfield talked about, that breaks off of what I'm doing, that allow for me to still operate and be who I am. So like he shared earlier, when you know who you are, and don't let anybody belittle you for being who you are. I want to bring that up too. Don't let anybody belittle you for being who you are. See, and you have to transform a little bit of your skill set to understand. Don't allow for pride to get in the way. Don't allow for pride to get in the way, because you have those who help assist you in areas that's not your strength. You have those who help assist you. So you think you need to do everything. It's not meant for you to do everything. See, some people think, well, oh, you Mr. Big Man now, Mr. Winfield. You act like you can't even send your own email anymore. You act like you can't set up your own appointment anymore. You big time. No, he has to use the best use of his time to be able to fulfill his fiduciary responsibility, first as a husband, as a father, and then as a business owner. That allows for him to be able to serve more people and be the best communicator that he can be. But if you keep worrying about stop. He said this earlier. Stop worrying about what everybody has to say about you. You got to get that out. You could be promoting, but in somebody's mind, they think you bragging. You stop promoting because you worried about somebody at the church saying you bragging on social media too much, and you don't realize the business term for that is you're doing promotion. Everybody does. If you're going to be successful, you're going to do some kind of promotion so people know what you do. If I don't know you, I can't flow you. It doesn't matter that you're the best painter in town. If I don't know that you exist, guess what? The person who's subpar is going to get the money, and you're going to be out of business even though you was a great painter because I didn't know you. So your psyche and mindset is very important on this. And Mr. Winfield, let's talk about that too. Knowing who you are. How do we get over the bird? And I'm really talking to, I want to talk to I speak Christianese on this one, because I see that's the biggest hindrance for us. A lot of people who claim their faith as being Christian or being religious, they can't get over the hump of worrying about people who have no idea of what it is and making them feel like they're less spiritual because they're promoting their business. Or they might have another page that they do some stuff on where it might be with their faith, but they got the business stuff over here. It doesn't mean that you don't love God, but in somebody's mind, they have put that narrative in them and they think that way. So if you don't mind with the audience, could you share with them a little bit of what you have figured out about that, if you don't mind?
Yeah, man. First thing is God created you to fulfill assignment, not to worry about people's opinions. Second of all, people's opinions don't pay your bills. I don't care. And here's the thing. Sometimes the anointing on your life, here we go. Sometimes the anointing on your life intimidates lazy people. And lazy people only have time to talk about people who are doing something. Never allow people who are not doing nothing to stop you from becoming something. Never forget, you've been created to fulfill an assignment. You was not created to worry about people's opinions. And people are always going to talk to you. And I say it, they're going to talk to the day you die. Give them something worth talking about, period. So that would be my take on that perspective. And just know, like, you can be a kingdom citizen and still have wealth and do what you love to do.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Y'all heard what Mr. Winfield shared with us. That's the importance of this, is kingdom, and realizing I don't have to do everything. The presentation that I'm doing for that school is about delegation, how to delegate. It's okay for you to be talented. It's okay for you to excel. It's okay for you to be brilliant on so many things. But don't allow that to hinder you because you got the wrong mindset. I'm going to share some things that I had to get over just real quick on this. I had to get over the mindset that if something was going to get mowed, it had to be me mowing it. Where I could have been doing something else. I'm over here having sinus issues, sound like Lil Weezer or something, you know what I'm saying? I've been out there mowing the whole time. I'm down 2 days, but I got to prove a point because where I come from, you got to mow. Now, I'm not knocking anybody. I know it's therapeutic sometimes, don't get me wrong. I had no problem with it for years, but I had to change my mind. Or, oh, well, you couldn't do nothing yourself. You got somebody else that you done hired to do it or whatnot. It makes you feel like inferior. It's just like the mindset, and we're going to go deep on this one right here. It's just like the mindset I had at a meeting that I was having a host me. It was called a man cave, Mr. Winfield. And I said, wow, it's amazing that we're talking about what to do as a culture and how to build businesses and build the community. But yet in the same token, we talk about other races, we talk about other people, but yet in our communities, we still make those who had a head start, even though we say we want to bridge the gap for as inequality, we make those within our own communities feel less than because I didn't have a golden spoon in my mouth, what we call it. I was raised from this background. So that means that I'm harder than somebody or I'm better than somebody because I got it from the streets. Or whatnot. I'm better than somebody. And I'm talking to my own self with this because it's something that I had to come out of. And it's a certain edge, growing up a certain way. And I understand that and it's worked in my favor and not in my favor in certain areas. But I had to realize that too. Like, wait a minute. Don't I want my kids to have a head start? What it look like? Because my kids go to a private school, just because my kids have an upbringing and they're able to travel and see history for itself, does that mean that they less than or that they're not real because we're creating kingdom and creating legacy? Now, we say that about our children, but if we look at somebody else who had that, now we're looking like, oh, well, his folks had it. Well, ain't that the goal? Ain't that the goal to be able to pass something on to you? So, before we get out of here, let's talk, because I know you're a big person on legacy. I seen one of your kids in the background, man, saying that's legacy right there, man. And so if you don't mind, talk to the people about the importance, not only for you operating in your purpose and passion or you doing these things that you have shared for us, these steps, but speak to us of understanding you need to execute, if not for you, for your legacy.
Yep. So got my legacy right here. So if you hear it, just don't kill me.
Good.
But the first thing that I would say, Dan, is that I can't be great and come out here and talk about being a public success and I'm a private failure. After God, it's my family. I don't care about business. It's God and my family. And I tell a lot of people a lot of times is that if I'm going to be great, I better be great at folding laundry. If I'm going to be great, I better be great at doing them dishes. If I'm going to be great, I better be great in cooking and being there for my children and my wife, period. And I think a lot of people get it the opposite way. I think that they feel that success comes from a lot of making money. And yeah, that's cool. But if you do what you need to do, everything going to follow you, right? So legacy for me is doing something that nobody will ever forget. And I don't want them to just say at my funeral, Dan, oh, Will was a good person. Bump that. Everybody get that. I want to hear William made sure that all his kids had a property. Like William made sure that his wife was taken care of. William made sure that he created other leaders. And for some of us, we're not even creating more leaders because we're jealous. We're jealous. Legacy, you can't be remembered for yourself. Legacy is about being remembered for helping others. See, that's why you come in contact with different people, because you leave your mark on their heart. They be like, yo, man, I'll never forget what Dan did for me. I'll never forget what Will did for me. I don't want my kids to just say Daddy was a good dad. I want them to say Dad did anything that he could to help other people. And some of y'all are robbing yourself because you're selfish with what you do. If you're not making more leaders, then what are you doing? Hence, market leader, live. Like, you got to market what you do, but you can't market what you do if you don't know what you do. And that's what I'm saying. Yes, you may make money from doing hair and doing all these other things, but never forget, will people remember you for just being a master? I mean, a jack of all trades and a master in anything? Like, is that what you want? Or do you want to be remembered for actually making an impact and changing other people's life? I'm like, yo, I'm not even on the part of being an entrepreneur. I'm on the part like creating other people to be an entrepreneur. I want other people to know what it's like to have personal freedom and spend time with their family. That's my mindset. So legacy is so huge to me, man. And it can go on for hours and hours talk about legacy. But my number one goal is to live to be remembered. And I'm not going to live just to exist. I'm going to live to be remembered. And that is my goal. That is my mark. My family know it. People around me know it. They already know when it comes to William, he's all about legacy. And you're right, because at the end of the day, you're not remembered for how much money you made. You're remembered for the impact that you made. Yeah.
I love it, man. You know, Mr. William Winfield came and blessed us today like I knew he would. Just keep that in mind. You know, like Court sharing here, that good legacy is not about you, you know, and that's the thing. It fuels you. I know, William, I know that I'm speaking for you a little bit because me and you got kindred spirits on this. It's infectious, man. I mean, it light me up to see somebody else win. It light me up to see a client win, because it's not all about me. You know, it lights me up to see somebody's family and them having that book lunch, or them sitting up there starting their first business or whatnot, or them, you know, being able to take another trip, or to be able to put money in the savings, to be able to get a home or rental, whatever that thing is for that particular family, those group of people, man. It helps me get up each and every day because I can't help but be fired up, man. It ignites me, man, you know, to be able to see other people win. And also, you brought up a good point that it's other people out there when we talk about leadership. There are those out there who can't stand to see somebody else win because they want all the glory for them. They want to acknowledge, you know, and what William bringing up is that if William do consulting, I do consulting, I'm not going to bring William on the show scared that, well, it's going to mess with my business. Now, this is a good, solid brother. And just like how you can have Walmart, you can have Amazon, you can have William and what he do and what I do, and millions of other people out there. You know, Mark Victor Hansen, when he was on the show, he brought up something that was very good to me, William, that on that point where I think some people don't get it. He said, Darren, because we had talked about something in the green room, and he was like, you get it. He said, it's just like oxygen. Because somebody breathing in Beijing don't mean I'm not breathing here in California. It's no shortage of There's no shortage of clients. There's no shortage of what you want in life. Just because somebody else is doing something, that don't mean that you can't do what you do. You got a group of people that's solely for you. What's for you is for you. And so you can take away that jealous spirit, that lack mindset, when you realize that nobody can get what was meant for William. Because it's Williams. See, it's a piece behind that. You know what I'm saying? The transcends all understanding when you get, like Mr. Winfield shared, who you are and whose you are. It's a certain mindset that goes with that, that I don't have to rush. I don't have to fight. I don't have to be jealous. I don't have to worry about, I just need to do what I do, what I was created to do, and everything else is going to fall in place. I'm going to share this lastly, and I'm going to get a last word to Mr. Winfield. I think we mess up because we try to compare the two. And you might say, what is that, Darren? I squared. Impact or income. We separate the two. They're not two different entities. Where you have impact, you will have income. They're going to follow each other. Whoever makes the most impact is going to be able to have income. Now, can you have some income without you can make a negative impact too as well. But if you are making a positive impact, Amazon is making a positive impact for people. That's why the income is just out of this world. To be able to serve you and have something dropped in front of your house or whatnot at the drop of a hat, you don't have to leave your house, is blessing people. You just see what I'm saying? So regardless of whatever you're saying, they're causing so much impact that the income is showing up. Same thing in every industry. William is doing the same thing. He's giving impact. He's coming from a place of creating legacy for others. Guess what shows up? Income shows up. Not because that's what he's just looking for solely, but he's so focused on impacting people positively that guess what? They don't mind pouring into what he's doing because it's not just about him. So before we close this thing out, please share with them, William. How can they connect with you? Website, social media handles, the whole nine, brother. Let the people know how they can connect with
you. Yeah, Instagram is Will is Blessed. Facebook, William Winfield. YouTube, William Winfield. LinkedIn, William Winfield. Website, liveToBeRemembered.com. Yep. Oh, you on mute, Dan? I see you going in too.
Yeah, my bad, bro. I done got into it, man. But I just want to tell you, man, thank you again, brother, for coming on, man. It's always a pleasure to have you. We got to get you, man. We got to get together for an event, man. We got some stuff coming up, man. For the year out, man, I'm going to get with William people, man. We got to get William for an event where we can turn him all the way live. You know, we just doing this show right here, but we got to have an event and just let my man just go slap in or whatnot, just go bananas or whatnot. Cause I've been able to see him when he get a lot. He give y'all just kind of, you know, he just touching y'all up a little bit, but don't be fooled. I know he wear many hats or whatnot, but my boy will tear you out the bone, make you ready to run through a glass window. But we don't want you to do that. But he'll make you get up and do something, man, if you actually about that life. But we thank you, William, man. It's been an honor, privilege to be able to see what God is doing through you, man. To see all the lives that you're touching, brother. And once again, I go back to this. I've been able to watch my brother do this. He didn't have millions to do it. There wasn't no trust fund coming in for him to do it. The brother used what he had. He used creativity. He trusted God, but he took action. He didn't allow perfection to be his inaction. That's the difference between William Winfield and you out there who listening to this. But you can change that. You're not going to look like Coca-Cola, and Coca-Cola has spent billions of dollars and probably even trillions. Your brain is not going to look like Starbucks right now. Stop trying to compare yourself to people who have spent billions and you working part-time on a want-to plan and think that you're going to look the same as somebody else. It's not going to be that way, but you got to be able to take action, even if it's ugly. You still got to take a step. So, you know, William, man, I thank God for you, man. Thank you for coming on today, brother.
Yes, sir. That's what it's about, man. And I'm just thankful to be on here, man. I love the stuff that you're doing, man. And bro, I promise you, man, like keep doing what you're doing. God's gonna continue to pour into your family, your business. And I love what you said, man. Like um bringing people on. Sometimes it's a jealousy thing. And when you're not, and when you know what you do, there's no such thing as competition or jealousy. You just connect. And sometimes people miss their blessing because they're not connected to the right people. Your environment dictates everything. I tell you, a wise pastor said to me a while ago, so the people who you surround yourself with will be a prophecy of what you're becoming. Some of you are around takers, some of you are around people who don't believe in you, some are around people who don't water your plant. You just got people who are just there to pluck from your tree and not add to your fruit. And you got to get away from people like that, man. So Dan, thank you to you and your team making it happen, getting me on here. And just for a person that's listening, just start. Just start. All right. Like start first, figure the rest out later. Like don't try to make it deeper than what it is. Just get started. Nobody ever said that you had to have $1 million. And sometimes if you had $1 million, it would break you because you don't know what to do with it. So never forget, just do what you do, find that thing, master it, and continue to be consistent with it. A plant don't grow overnight. Neither does your success. Let's go.
That's good. That's it. Right there, man. My man dropped the mic. Until next time, remember, if you won't change, be the change. Until next time, be blessed and be great.